Hello again and welcome. This is going to be a short intro, I promise, this time around, because I've got a slightly longer video in mind, and that's to take you through in real time my process for getting an idea out of my head and down onto the paper. And I really love this way of maintaining a little bit of a creative flow and sort of thinking through things on the fly. And doing it all through thumbnails is something that I keep banging on about, the importance of thumbnails. But you'll see in this video, hopefully, ideas sort of forming. Often just from mistakes I might have made in the drawing process that take me somewhere else. And I definitely love the progression, and I hope you'll see this development of this idea from something reasonably static and staid to something a lot more dynamic, and also explorations of ideas that ultimately probably won't work but needed to be explored on the paper just to rule them out. So buckle in, enjoy this, and I'll catch you on the other side. I'm obviously a very big fan of the power of thumbnails and how much it can help explore ideas and make sure you don't just settle on the first thing that falls out. Give you a few options, a range of things to think about. Look, I won't keep this one a particular secret. There's a great Radiohead song off the In Rainbow's album called 15 Steps, and immediately had in my mind this idea of a figure, silhouetted figure. That's part of the ongoing theme at the moment, is there's a figure standing in a doorway, silhouetted or backlit in the illustration so far. Standing at the top of sort of basement stairs, 15 steps of these stairs, of course, going down into a very dark and pretty spooky basement. And I thought, you know, there's clearly a theme so far in this series so far where it's a little bit off kilter, it's a little bit spooky, so I thought I might play into that a little bit more. And maybe there's a monster hiding under the stairs. And in this song, the lyrics go with 15 steps and then a sheer drop. So I'm thinking that maybe there's just an open trapdoor at the very bottom of the steps. So we'll try a couple of different angles to start with. So, you know, in the idea in my mind is the doorway's up here, there's the steps coming down, and there's our sheer drop at the bottom. And so I thought it might be cool too to have something like a monster hiding in the shadows underneath. So maybe this wall, the steps go down against this wall, so this is a wall here. Dark, and maybe there's a monster sort of just lurking under the steps here. Just giving a cheeky little smile to start with. Not sure what the perspective is going to be like for this one. It feels like it's all coming this way, so maybe that's a little bit too narrow, but first idea. And there's my figure standing in the doorway. Look at that, stick figure, the power of stick figures. Okay, so there's the first one. Let's try it from perhaps the opposite side. And again, sort of like this little Dutch angle style off kilter idea. And I'm not counting the steps at this stage, obviously. I'll get that sorted as I go. Maybe there's a banister on this one, like so. Maybe this angle is opened up a little bit more, so it's a little bit clearer where the monster under the steps is hiding. And some boxes and other paraphernalia. So in the shadow, actually probably don't want something right there because that's where my sheer drop is going to be. And at the moment, yeah, I'm thinking this sort of sheer drop being an open trapdoor. Maybe I've got the trapdoor obviously open there, and where are we? Steps down that side, and yeah, so that's Let's do our monster here, hiding in there, sort of crouched. Don't know what the monster will look like yet. They could be separate thumbnails just to work out what the monster looks like. All right, so let's think about another angle. Maybe we'll just do like a completely front-on one with lots of foreshortening. So we'll have a much smaller figure standing at the top, like so. And we'll have our steps coming down like this. And make sure that we have a very obvious shear drop at the bottom. Again, I kind of like the idea of this trapdoor to make sense of it, just sort of just being something there. I think we'll have the lid of the trapdoor open, like so. This one, obviously, no Dutch angle, no crazy way of sort of bringing the viewer into a sense of unease, but it's worth exploring all of these ideas. And this time around, maybe this time around there's more monsters hiding in the dark. Again, we can have sort of boxes and paraphernalia. It'd be fun kind of doing a few little detailed things here. I won't worry about the details of what sort of things might be there in the basement, but if anybody's got a basement or storage at their house, you treat it like I do. You just throw every random bit of thing you've got in there. Okay, so maybe this one's just lots of eyes, sort of like hiding in the dark, glowing in the dark. Maybe even a cheeky smile, like so. Okay, and again we can work out what the shadow might look like coming down, like so. I could work out exactly how the shadow might play, and maybe some reference comes into play to work out exactly how the shadow might play, but I think if as long as it kind of makes sense in the viewer's mind, it hopefully won't get pulled up by too many people saying that's not how shadows work on stairs. All right, so maybe, see, I like this idea. So this is where I think thumbnails are really useful, isn't it? They can help propel the idea along, because my initial idea was very much I just had a single monster that's sort of peering out, the troll under the stairs or something under the stairs. But now this idea of that particular angle on that thumbnail opened up a lot more space, and that made me think, well, maybe there's lots more monsters. So let's try that one again, and maybe again we'll have this front on type 1 and just get I'll do this one super quick this time, but I want to get a little bit of a sense of what it might look like if, rather than it being a trapdoor down the bottom, it was some kind of pit that had been dug by the denizens under the stairs. So, you know, try and make it look a lot more like it's a hole in the ground, and maybe there's some dirt piles and debris around to show that it's sort of been dug out. It'll be dark in there too. And there's my figure at the top. Again, not as important once it's sort of established in the earlier thumbnails. Some of the ideas, like the shadow being cast down the stairs, to put in as much effort in the subsequent thumbnails. Again, not sure exactly how this might look, but this time around there might be some shelving, I don't know. Maybe that we can see the wall here, so we get a little bit of sense of where the back is. To come out like that. Again, nice and dark. And I don't know how this is actually playing for you looking at this on your screens, but because a lot of this is me making sense of something that I'm already got in my mind. So this time round, well, yeah, I think we might have a few sort of figures down here, maybe hunched over and bent, and maybe they're looking up to see, waiting for this person to come down with glee. You know, maybe they're a whole bunch of goblins. Who knows? At this early stage, who's waiting at the bottom of the steps for a protagonist? So this is starting to take shape. So there's advantages to the Dutch angle ones where you know, everything's slightly askew and off kilter, much like the one I'm just about to start painting. Spinning plates, which you know, works nicely to have this crazy angle to suit the chaos that's going on in the dining room as the poltergeists are throwing plates and spinning them around all over the place. Yeah. All right, let's have a try looking from the top down. So maybe this time around, similar to the spinning plates one, we're behind the protagonist, who might this time, rather than filling the doorway and blocking lots of the view, is off to the side like so. Yeah, that one, I think it's got a lot more complications to solve, and it's a little bit too similar in my mind to the one I've just done on the spinning plate. So, you know, it's good to get that out and just get an idea of what it might look like from the other angle. Okay, so let's try like a real side-on angle this time around. So, again, it's going to show the whole, isn't it? Maybe I haven't thought this through. The song doesn't, you know, it does have the 15 steps and then the sheer drop, and I kind of want to get the sheer drop in there, but maybe that's okay that they can see that the trapdoor's open and then want to go down and work out who's opened the trapdoor, why is the trapdoor open? And so by going down to the trapdoor, they're exposed to the person who's waiting for them, or the creature that's waiting for them. Cool. Don't mind that one. It's kind of cool. It's interesting. Okay, so just a quick review. Like this first one, very much exactly what I had in my mind, but it doesn't look very interesting at all now I look at it. These ones are starting to take on a bit more life, I think. I do like the idea now of maybe a few creatures lying in wait. This last one is kind of speaking to me a little bit. I know it looks fairly straight on, and maybe we can play around with the angles a bit more in the next thumbnail. So it's either kind of like this one, maybe this one here with its, again with the, if we're thinking about a few crazy angles. Like everything doesn't have to also be following the proper rules of perspective here, as much as I'm sort of predisposed to do that. It could be very much just really off kilter, like breaking perspective laws, and that helps add to the sort of the sense of confusion and the worry that you might feel walking into that particular space. But these front on ones the straight ones, I don't mind those either. Probably this one here is speaking to me a bit too. So we've got a few options, which is nice. Yes, trying a slightly wackier angle. So let's try that. Like so. Again, we can sort of play around with these lines a little bit. Have our steps coming down like this, and maybe the steps not even straight this time. Got a little bit of a curve going on, don't mind that. Again, let's try and work out our steps like this, like that. Yeah, didn't quite get that. No, that's a really broken step. Again, like so, like that. Just working out where this back wall is. Maybe a very sort of broken banister, very wonky banisters here, showing that the steps have seen better days. That's the other thing I hadn't really thought about. Like, do we want to sort of make out that this is a very precarious set of stairs? Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it would be very cool if they were super rickety, with scaffolding, visible sort of scaffolding showing through. That's something about the scaffolding. It doesn't fill you full of confidence that maybe there's a bend in the scaffolding or something that makes you feel like these steps don't have much chance of staying up for too much longer. All right, okay, so now we're getting more wonky. I like this, I like wonky. Wonky's good. These crazy little angles like so. I haven't quite worked out where in this one our creature's going to be hiding, but I think we can create, maybe this time around we'll go with the pit idea again rather than the trapdoor. Slightly off. Again, if the light's coming through like this, it might follow the steps down like that. Broaden out a little bit, and so this area here might be lit. That part there will be shaded by the stairs. So yeah, the lighting on this one would be interesting, but it would also conceal the pit, like so. Hints of some other things, boxes and other bits and pieces here, but and maybe some sort of, again, some weird old perspective lines of the. It's probably a brick basement, right? So little bricks and signs of some bricks, like that, and that. Make sure I don't forget our figure. Here. And their shadow coming down like that. Okay, this is good. I'm liking this one. This is a bit more chaotic. Make sure that I sort of get the figure to fold over those steps as they're going down when I think about the final one. Let's just make that slightly wider. My thumbnail box was not very generous for this one. Like that. And what if this time round the figure was actually in the pit, like so? Not looking very scary with that little smile, but again, lots of shadows, lots of shadows. All right, that one looks very, very messy, but I can kind of see some potential in that one coming out. So I'm kind of, yeah, let's see the back again. Thumbnails, love thumbnails. Thumbnails have taken me to curvy steps and then to rickety curvy steps. So like I could do something like this one, but really, you know, these rather than these, what I thought would be just like stone stairs going down or brick stairs going down. We want this this journey to the bottom to work out what the noise is or why the trapdoor's open, to be fraught with peril. All right, let's do one more, just playing up the rickety stair thing a little bit, and just go with something really wild and crazy. So let's sort of get the door up here this time around. And 15 steps, great name for a song, but really I feel like I want more than 15 steps with this rickety staircase, but I'll put up with 15 steps. So again, we'll do some wonky steps this time around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Great. There's our 15 steps, and this time around, because of the nature of these steps, you'll be able to see underneath them. And maybe this time around we'll get our little creature in white to be peering through. So I'm obviously taking a little bit longer on these thumbnails than the first one, but I think that's okay. Once you start to get some ideas starting to firm up a little bit, that's not a bad thing to do. I'll give myself permission to spend a little bit more time on this. Okay, and I'll bring this down again. Not too many straight lines if I can avoid it. So these, like that, figure at the top. So that. Banisters, and again we might, like, it might be really subtle, like it's hard to see in the thumbnail, but we'll have our little scary person under the stairs, like so. And yeah, let's go with this idea of the who's left the trapdoor open. This time around we'll have the trapdoor open this way, like so. I don't think I've really maximised the space this time around, but that's okay. And, all right, so again we can just very quickly just put a whole bunch of garbage down here. Paint cans and boxes, lots of boxes, maybe a whole bunch of boxes that are sort of like teetering like so on the side there, and impossibly hard to reach shelves. If anybody can remember this Larson cartoon, The Inconvenience Store, with the one shelf that's like right up at the very top corner of this impossibly tall building, no way to reach it. That's what these shelves feel like he's going to get to those. Well, actually, we might answer that by just having a little bit of ladder sitting here. All right, there we go. So we've got 8 thumbnails in a hopefully not too long a time. I can't remember how long this has been. I don't know how long this is going, but again, exploring lots of different ideas, being able to rule some things out, like I think ruling out from this angle, I'm comfortable with that. The idea of the steps being straight, I'm not so keen on now, so I definitely want some wonk. Probably like this one the most. in terms of its potential. It's got this curve kind of leading you down. Follow the steps down, and then this little surprise in the bottom corner might be this hidden creature hiding inside the sheer drop. These steps didn't quite work out as I imagined that they would. I'd like to perhaps do a version of this one too, where the steps are a lot more clearly scary and wobbly. But I think that's enough for me to perhaps play around with developing this idea up into more of an illustration. And actually what I might do is create a slightly more detailed thumbnail, the next step up. So maybe a thumbnail that's the size of this page before I then commit it to some watercolor paper and go from there. Okay, so there you go. I hope that's a creative flow unlocking process that you're either trying or are really willing to give it a shot. I just love how it can take an idea and give it that chance to develop and be open to new interpretations just by exploring different angles of the scene that was originally there in my mind. And jumping on mistakes that stimulate other ideas, like the broken step on that curved stairway towards the end there, opened up this idea. Of course, a rickety staircase would be far more interesting. And then I pushed that far too far in the final thumbnail, but that's what the thumbnails are there for. To explore where's that line, go past the line and come back a step and go, okay, I think that might be where it is. I really love it. It's a really exciting time to be thinking and working through my ideas, my creative ideas, and just working them out on the paper and talking through the process. I think really helped me too. So thank you for listening. A simple pleasure this week. I just had the pleasure of sitting outside enjoying a cup of tea under the cover of my porch while the rain was coming down and a thunderstorm was rolling through. Just lovely to be, safe and secure, but also out there in the elements at the same time. An absolute simple pleasure. Thank you so much again. All of the lovely comments that I'm getting. I'm loving the conversations that we're having in that space. Please let me know if these are the sorts of videos you'd like to see more of, or if there are other things you'd like me to cover. I'm absolutely open to exploring that. And I look forward to seeing you hopefully in 2 weeks' time. All right, see you then.